everyone, and welcome to The Grove. My name is Samurai Rev, and this is episode 2 in the Mob Mixer series. In this series, I take 2 mobs from Minecraft and I put them into one character concept. In this episode, we will be looking at the parents of the Henrison family. The father of the Henrison family is named Robert, because that name sounds like rabbit, and he is part rabbit. That's one of the reasons that he has long ears. I ended up combining the rabbit features with the fox, because in Minecraft you can spawn a killer bunny who has red eyes and that will attack the player, and combined with the wolves, like red eyes when they are hostile, it just sort of made sense that, oh, we can combine these. And so I did. So for Henrison, the name actually came from his father's side, because when I was going to draw his concept, I kept thinking of the name Henry, so that's how that last name happened. It's just because there was this name that I kept thinking about, so I decided to use it, and I like the name Henrison. And then for his design, I decided I wanted him to be an explorer. It would be one of the reasons that Ozzy has like a satchel, and it also would explain why he was in the area, sort of, to meet his wife. And he does end up trying to go and find his wife, because they lost him in the war that I have, sort of building the story around them. There would be this war that happened that was probably one of the reasons that Robert had to leave, either to go fight in the war or just to find his wife in the aftermath. One of the other reasons could be that killer rabbits, they're hostile against wolves, and rabbits also avoid wolves. So maybe he had to leave because there's this conflict going on in the area with other wolves, or it's because killer rabbits are hostile against foxes, and he does not want to lash out at his son. And maybe that's one of the reasons that, because the war was happening, he just didn't want to be around, because if he goes into the red strength state, as I call it, then he knows he would lash out against his son, even though he wouldn't want to. He would also be very fast, because both wolves and rabbits are fast, especially rabbits. So that's sort of one of the reasons that Robert would leave, and why he would also be very fast when traveling. I did think about the other powers for the others. The powers for the other members. And so Melissa would have flight, and this flower honey trade, she could trade flowers for honey from bees, I think. And then Ozzy would be fast like his father, and then immune to fall damage and berry bushes. For Henry, I decided to also add in the lantern, because I thought it would be an interesting character design, and he would just have the lantern on him usually, so he could have light when he goes into caves. So I also think he would be an omnivore, because even though wolves primarily eat meat, and bunnies primarily eat vegetables, especially in the land of Minecraft, I think because he is both, he would be able to ingest both, and I think that's probably why his son and daughter would be able to be an omnivore as well. I'm not sure how genetics work in this world, because somehow you have a bee-bat hybrid coming from a bunny-wolf hybrid, and her brother's an ocelot-fox hybrid, and then their mother is her own type of weird. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. I'm going to be more conscious about that in the future, but this is the first family, and I sort of already had their concepts in my head before I started this challenge, so they're just an odd bit of family. They are somehow genetically key together, but I don't know exactly. So here I am putting in all the colors. You already saw me doing the lantern. I decided to go with more wolf colors for his skin tones, and I wanted to do that because the killer bunny, which you can actually see in the bunnies lineup, the bunny is the white one, and that's what it's officially called. It's either that or maybe it's just a passive albino bunny. I would have to double check that. But lighter skin, so it would make sense, and then you have more of the wolf in the design, because I know that the browns would be more of a variety, so it was easier for me. Oh, I'll just use that to have in the outfits. So I decided to keep it in the outfits. So that meant the wolf automatically got defaulted towards sort of the skin tone areas. And this mustache, I really liked it because you had that bridge of the wolf, and I wanted to include that in somewhere, and then I put it darker so it sort of looked like hair and a mustache, which sort of aged the character too, which I'm very happy about, because before he sort of looked like he could be Ozzy's age, but now it looks, oh, this is a middle-aged man. Plus, I liked the idea he had like a mustache. Once I had drawn it, I just really wanted to keep it, so once I got it to something I liked, I definitely made sure to keep it in the character himself. I did end up having to add in the tail. I was thinking of not adding the tail, because I'm like, oh, the cotton tail, like the stereotypical bunny tail, would be covered up by the pose. But then I decided, no, it doesn't look enough like a wolf. So I decided to give him more of a wolf tail for this combination. So he looks more like a wolf now, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. So this is Robert Henrison. The mother of the Henrison family is named Phoebe, and she is a phantom dolphin hybrid. She is named Phoebe because that was the name I could come up with when I was thinking of her just as a phantom, but then I decided to give her the dolphin, because I thought that would be an interesting thing to try and combine, and I just imagined her with no original last name, because maybe she just doesn't but doesn't connect well enough with other dolphins to have a last name for them. As for how she met Robert, I imagine he was sleep deprived on a boat, so she just gravitated towards him due to her phantom sense, because I imagine that due to her being part phantom, she can sense when others have been sleeping or have not been sleeping, and so she just has an internal sense. And she also has a similar thing with her internal clock, with how she can sense the difference between day and night whenever she is. I don't think she would be able to say the specific time, although that would be interesting, but she would be able to tell you whether it's, oh, it's daytime, or, oh, it's nighttime. Maybe she's really good at being in the mines for that reason, where she's able to tell, hey, maybe you should go and farm for a little bit, or maybe you should take some sleep. But you're underground, so why does it matter? Well, you still need sleep. And then the next part of her design is the stripes. That's supposed to be the boning. That's also on the wings, but I decided to bring it over into stripes on our cloak because I thought it would be an interesting design choice and make her a little more detailed in a simple way. And I really like the stripes too. I like how they turned out. I wasn't sure what to do for the wings. I knew that I would at least have one wing to like show off how, yes, she does have wings. I know they are smaller proportion to her body. It's also because I didn't know whether she would just have a gliding ability or whether she'd be full flight. I know Melissa is full flight ability, but I wasn't sure with how phantoms just sort of glide and swoop around, whether I wanted her to fully have that idea or just the swooping ability. So she has smaller wings. I wasn't sure whether to do two or on one side or have them separate. I ended up just switching them to a separate side because it looked better in the drawing, and so I just ended up copying and pasted and then rotating it as I will be showing you. And yeah, see, there's me moving her so I could have better space, and then after I fixed that part of the drawing, then I just moved and adjusted the wings to look right with how it's all set up. And She does have gills in the side of her neck, but they're just not shown on the drawing, and they're not shown by the cloak hood, because the hood sort of blocks that. And I also imagine that she'd be fast in water. I did choose to have 2 different phantom pictures, because then I could get colors from that under area, and so you can see where I'm putting in the phantom layers for the wings, phantom colors for the wings and the cloak itself. And then after I fix a few bits of the line art, I put in the dolphin colors, and the one specific area, this middle part, is supposed to represent that like gray part on the dolphin and how it's separated on the phantom itself. So I decided to add that in. And then of course I have the darker skin to match with Melissa, and so I just took one of the darker skin tones from the phantom itself. It took a while to get me like a good background, and I ended up just making my own color, but I like how Phoebe turned out. I want to explore her character a little more, but I like the combination in the end. So there's her. With Phoebe completed, all of the designs for the Henrison family are finished. In the next episode, we will be taking a trip into the Nether, but for right now, I hope you have a great day, night, wherever you may be. See you next time!